McDonald's finally gave people what they begged for: breakfast, all day. It boosted hype, brought customers back, and felt like a permanent upgrade. And then McDonald's killed it. Not because people stopped buying it, but because it created a problem McDonald's couldn't afford to keep. This is the story of how all-day breakfast became one of McDonald's best decisions, and why it was also one of their most expensive mistakes. Because behind the scenes, it didn't just change the menu, it changed how the entire machine worked. All-day breakfast was exactly what it sounds like: McDonald's letting you order breakfast items outside of morning hours. Before this, breakfast ended sharply, usually around 10:30 a.m. But with this change, you could get an Egg McMuffin for lunch or hotcakes for dinner. For customers, it was perfect. Some people want breakfast at noon, some want it at night. And for years, the demand never stopped. It was a simple idea that tapped into a universal craving, and it felt like McDonald's had finally unlocked a new level of convenience. For a lot of customers, it wasn't just food, it was comfort, a routine, a reliable choice. Maybe it was a late-night study session powered by a hash brown, or a post-work pick-me-up with a sausage McMuffin. It was about getting your favorite thing whenever you wanted it. And when McDonald's finally made it available all day, it felt like the brand was listening again. It created this huge wave of goodwill and reminded people why they loved McDonald's in the first place. It felt like freedom. But let's be real, McDonald's didn't launch all-day breakfast just to be nice. They did it because they needed momentum. By the mid-2010s, the fast food landscape was getting brutal. Competition was intense. Brands like Chick-fil-A were growing at an insane pace, and fast casual spots like Panera and Chipotle were stealing customers. McDonald's was seeing its traffic decline, and they needed a big, splashy win. And breakfast was one of the few areas where McDonald's still completely dominated, so they decided to lean into their biggest strength and unleash it on the rest of the day. It was a strategic move to reclaim their market share. Here's what most people don't realize: fast food isn't fast because the food is easy to make. It's fast because the system is ruthlessly optimized, and McDonald's kitchens are designed to run like a factory, a finely tuned machine where every single second counts. The grills are set to specific temperatures, the timers are precise, and the workflow is choreographed down to the last detail. It's all about repetition and efficiency. All-day breakfast broke that factory. Suddenly, you had two completely different systems trying to run at the same time, in the same limited space, with the same crew. It was like trying to run two different assembly lines on top of each other. When you serve breakfast and lunch at the same time, you create what's called menu complexity. Think about it. For lunch and dinner, the grill is set at one temperature for beef patties. For breakfast, you need a different temperature for eggs and sausage. That meant either adding new, smaller grills, which took up precious space, or constantly changing the temperature on the main grill, which slowed everything down. You have different toasters for buns and English muffins, different holding cabinets, different assembly procedures. This adds more steps, more chances for mistakes, and more confusion for the crew. That means slower orders, and slower orders mean longer lines. And longer lines, especially at the drive-thru, are absolutely deadly for McDonald's. Speed is their core promise. McDonald's doesn't win by having the best food. They win by being the most consistent and efficient machine. Every second shaved off a drive-thru time translates into millions of dollars in revenue over a year. Every mistake, like putting the wrong sauce on a sandwich or wasting a perfectly good egg, costs money. And when all-day breakfast made the system less efficient, it wasn't just annoying for the staff. It was expensive. The added labor costs, the wasted food from trying to predict demand for breakfast items all day, and the lost customers from slower service times all started to add up. The operational cost of that beloved Egg McMuffin at 3 p.m. was far higher than the one sold at 8 a.m. So, in 2020, McDonald's made the decision. It wasn't a decision based on nostalgia. It wasn't based on customer love. It was a cold, hard decision based on operations. They killed all-day breakfast because at its core, McDonald's doesn't sell food first. They sell speed, they sell predictability, and all-day breakfast was slowing the machine down. When the pandemic hit, it gave them the perfect cover to temporarily suspend it to simplify operations. But it was clear the writing was on the wall. They chose speed over choice, efficiency over flexibility. And this wasn't just a McDonald's problem. All-day breakfast was part of a bigger trend in fast food. Menus just keep growing, but the kitchens don't. Brands are constantly adding new items, limited time offers, and customizations to attract customers. But this complexity eventually reaches a breaking point. So, what you're seeing across the industry now is a move toward simplification. Brands are cutting items, reducing options, and focusing on their core menu to protect their speed of service. Because in the end, in the world of fast food, the fastest restaurant often wins the war. So, let's be clear. All-day breakfast didn't fail because people didn't want it. They absolutely did. It failed because it was simply too difficult to execute at the massive scale of McDonald's ease without breaking the very system that makes them so successful. McDonald's didn't kill it because it was unpopular. They killed it because it threatened the one thing McDonald's protects above all else, a predictable, efficient system that prints money day in and day out. It was a brilliant idea that couldn't survive the reality of the machine. If McDonald's brought back all-day breakfast tomorrow, would you order it? Or do you think speed matters more than choice? Let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed this mini documentary, leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the brands you know and love. Thanks for watching,